Well, John Chambers was just selected by the readers of the Washington newspaper Politico as someone who should run as an independent for president. Now, others on the Politico list included Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Hillary Clinton, David Petraeus, and Colin Powell. Lisa Rice and others were on there as well. It's not a surprise that Politico played the part of their candidate, because this is neat. In the latest New Hampshire poll, only 14% of likely primary voters say they are, quote, very satisfied with the current candidate roster. Joining us from our Washington bureau is Kevin Madden, Republican strategist, Democratic strategist Jamal Simmons, also in D.C., and here in the studio. Great to finally meet him in person, Major Garrett, correspondent for the National Journal. Great to have all of you with us. We appreciate it. Major, let me start with you. Sure. I was pretty surprised only 14% are very satisfied. Why?
Well, Republicans keep looking at this field and saying, yes, there's Romney. He's been the constant. But can't there be somebody else? Isn't there a better alternative to Mitt Romney? And so far, there have been flashpoint alternatives who last for a month or two, Michelle Bachmann, Rick Perry, and then plenty who have looked and not run in the race at all. So Mitt Romney stays, the field is set, but it's set in a way that dissatisfies Republican primary voters, at least until the voting starts. But when the voting starts, and if Romney starts winning, winning has a tendency, as anyone will tell you, Jamal or Kevin will tell you, winning tends to build momentum. So now they're dissatisfied, but if Romney breaks out, that satisfaction will start coming.
Satisfaction will come. Jamal, let me ask you a question. You know, Hillary Clinton being on that list just got me wondering, is it a commentary on how the Republicans and Democrats are seen so polarized right now that the main place for reason is among the independents? I mean, Hillary Clinton is not an independent. She's a Democrat.
Yes, but, you know, Hillary Clinton has had the great fortune of being out of politics for the last 2.5, 3 years. So everywhere she goes, she's seen as a nonpartisan Secretary of State focused on America's future around the world. And that always tends to buoy any person's poll numbers. Colin Powell's on the list. He had the same benefit. Condi Rice is on that list. Even though they're all partisans, they don't really have partisan profile in their public day-to-day work habits.
Kevin Madden, I wanted to just show a poll today. This one by the Washington Post, Bloomberg. I love the season of all these polls because there's so much meat in there every day. So it asked which Republican candidate would do the most to improve the economy among Republican likely voters. Mitt Romney, 22%. Cain, 20%. The next closest, Perry, at 12%. That's just part of the Herman Cain phenomenon. He's surging in all the voting polls as well. Do you think Mitt Romney is worried about Herman Cain?
Look, worrying in a campaign is for those without a plan. If you're worried, that means that you didn't put together the organization, the infrastructure, and the message that you're going to need to win. So I think Boston's very confident that over the long arc of this campaign, and that's the thing that we have to remember, is that a lot of these polls are just snapshots right now in time. What we have to look at is the long-term trends. And what we've seen in all these polls that we've looked at tonight is the long-term trend has shown a lot of volatility. But the constant has been that Governor Romney has actually held a very good level of good market share of voter support. So I think if he can continue to consolidate that support and then go out and grow it as the volatility of the campaign and all of the contests of the early primary states, they take place, that's where this campaign, I think, has built its strategy around, is the actual contest where actual voters decide.
Aaron, if I could just hop in once, I'll give Kevin and the Romney team an incredible amount of credit right here, because the one thing you've seen out of Mitt Romney is such a disciplined campaign. I mean, whether it was Sarah Palin or Michelle Bachmann or Rick Perry or now Herman Cain, they seem to be very focused on their job. And from the Obama campaign in 2008, they had the same kind of disciplined focus. They had a message. They never veered from it.
Okay.
I think he can be beaten, Mitt Romney, but I just think as a primary campaign, they're doing a good job.
Final word to Major.
2 quick points about Mitt Romney. His biggest advantage is he's run before. His biggest weakness, he's run before. He's too familiar in a time when people want change, okay?
Very well said.
The other thing about that poll, Rick Perry came in second on most damage to the economy if he was the Republican nominee, right behind Michelle Bachmann, even though Rick Perry runs jobs right now. That's all about immigration. For Republican primary voters, they translate concerns about immigration to hurting the economy. That issue is killing Rick Perry. He's got to turn it around.
All right, well, it's going to be very interesting to see what he says tomorrow night. Thanks so much to all three of you. Look forward to seeing you all again very soon.